Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Infinite series, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Amazing Spider-Man figure. So this is Marvel Legends Infinite series that's new. They're starting out, they're putting out another wave of like Spider-Man figures, but they're also sort of tying this line into the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie release. You can see Spider-Man here. He comes with an extra pair of web-slinging hands. He also comes with Green Goblin's right arm for the Build-A-Figure piece and a flame piece that goes into that hand. See a nice big picture of Spider-Man here on the back. Really nice, very simple back packaging. It's got some spot varnish all across Spider-Man. Really makes him pop and stand out. You can see some of the other figures in the wave. You can see Superior Spider-Man. I can't talk early Saturday morning. You can see Spider-Man here. This sort of looks like the Electro that we're going to see in the movie. It doesn't really look like Jamie Foxx, but it sort of resembles his appearance, and you've got Carnage there. And it shows you all the Build-A-Figure pieces put together, and shows you who comes with what, which is really cool. So, some nice artwork of Spider-Man here on the side. I really like this new packaging. This is what Marvel is going with for their new 6-inch scale figures. The Captain America wave that's out now follows this as well. It looks really cool. I'm glad they're changing up the Marvel Legends packaging only after the first year of the figure. It looks really cool. I like this much smaller, tight, concise packaging. Big window box here on the front. It's actually a very collector-friendly package. You can just open up the side, slide the clamshell out, the tray out, get your figure out, play with it, and put it right back in if you want. So let's go ahead and get this guy opened up and take a closer look at this fantastically articulated, very well sculpted, Amazing Spider-Man figure. So here we have Spider-Man opened up out of the package, and you can see everything he comes with. And I could tell you, because as a toy collector, and as, you know, a huge fan of Spider-Man, I would say that Spider-Man is probably my third favorite superhero of all time. First being Batman, second being Hellboy, and then Spider-Man comes in a close third to Hellboy. I've owned a lot of Spider-Man action figures, a ton. I've always been in search for the perfect Spider-Man action figure. And because of that, I don't own a lot of Spider-Man action figures because he's so hard of a character to get right. You got to have him look great in any kind of pose that you put him in, and you also have to have really good articulation. And so either the figure has no articulation and he looks good as a figure, or he has great articulation and looks horrible as a figure. So I think he's a really hard action figure character to sort of portray in an action figure toy. So this figure is really, really close to perfection. Really close. I think I'm going to try my hand at the next Revel Tech Spider-Man that's coming out. And I'm really hoping I hope you guys could probably hear my son. He's helping me out with reviews this morning. So this is a figure that is, I'm really pleased with it because I think he looks great as a figure, and he also has fantastic articulation. So starting off with this piece here that's quickly going to be going up on eBay. You can see this is the Green Goblin's arm. You can see a bunch of spikes here. Very much looks like Doomsday or something like that. You can see how big this figure is going to be if the arm is almost the same size as Spider-Man. You've got some really nice sculpting on the hand. You've got a nice hand curl there, double jointed elbow, which looks great. I'm always happy with double joints. This thing is fantastic. You also take this flame piece, and I think you maybe attach it to the wrist or something like that. I don't know. I don't plan on getting any more figures in this line. I may pick up that Electro figure. I haven't seen it in stores yet, so I'll wait until I see it in hand before I pick it up. But I'm just going to go ahead and sell this because I know I have no plans of collecting and having this big Green Goblin. So going up on eBay. Let's get this thing out of the way. Take a look at Spider-Man here. You can see he's got that big, hands on his hips, very heroic, chest puffed out kind of pose, looking down. This figure is just absolutely fantastic. Moving his hands out of the way for a second, just we can go over some of the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, so you can get full range of motion out of this thing. It can look down, it can look up. The eyes look fantastic. The sculpting, we'll zoom in and take a closer look at the sculpting, but it just looks absolutely fantastic. The shoulders are on this really neat thing that I've only seen in import action figures where the shoulder is on a rotation point. So his shoulder can come all the way into the front. This is about as far around in the front as it can come. And you can see that it can go all the way around to the back. You can see how far back that actually comes. So that is really, really nice. So you can get some very nice poses out of his arms, which is fantastic. The separate from that, the shoulders are on a pin socket. So that's really kind of cool. You get 360-degree movement there. You've got an upper bicep swivel. You've got double jointed elbows, which we know those are fantastic. And you can even bend the hand at the wrist. So there should be no complaints out of the posability of these arms whatsoever. They are just posable until the cows come home. This thing is articulation points all over the place. Got a really nice ab crunch that can go back as far as it can go forward. You've got a waist swivel, which is pretty nice. And it's also on a really tight joint. The legs are on a pin socket on the inside, so they can go out really wide. You got a top of the thigh swivel. You have double jointed knees, which is a must for Spider-Man action figures. A cut joint at the top of the boot. And then the feet are on a nice ball joint and have like the world's greatest rocker. I mean, you can't even put a foot in that position and without breaking it. And that thing is just absolutely fantastic. So as you can see, this is the world's greatest articulated Spider-Man. I'm sure there's others out there that come near this, or maybe even surpass it if it's Revel Tech or something like that. But this guy's absolutely fantastic. But not only is the sculpting fantastic, the paint apps and the detail and all of that is equally fantastic. So why don't we zoom in and take a closer look at some of the fine detail that Hasbro was able to get into this 6-scale Spider-Man. So zooming in here on Spider-Man, you can see he's got nice big white eyes, nice good amount of black surrounding them. I think this is a very comic accurate figure. I don't know how close they were trying to get to the film version of Spidey. To me, this kind of feels like a hybrid of both the comic and the film version. I mean, he does have the film version of the chest logo and the film version of the logo on the back. So I do think they're making an effort to make this more like the film. But to me, he just really looks like a good blend. He looks like he could have come out of a comic book page or the film. So I think that's a win all the way around. The detail on the suit is actually sculpted. If you can hear that. Those lines are not simply painted. They are actually sculpted. And the wash that they put in is very subtle. It's there, it's noticeable, but it's not overpowering, and it's certainly not sloppy. That's the best thing I can say about this figure, is that the wash they put on came off real clean in the other spots, so it doesn't look gloopy or gloppy or real messy, especially around the chest logo. It looks very clean and nice. It's got a very reflective black paint on that logo. You can see that there's the suit texture is sculpted into the blue plastic. You can see it right there. You can see the texture is carried throughout, so very nice sculpting. If I did have one complaint on the sculpt, I would say that these leg pieces, the top of the hips, poke out too far. I would like to have seen, like a wider pelvic area or skinnier legs up at the top, just so that these sunk in a little better. To me, they kind of just stand out a little bit. And that's the only slight disappointment. But that same sculpting and paint wash detail is carried throughout and just looks absolutely fantastic. I could not be happier with the paint apps, the sculpt, all of that just looks, I couldn't be happier. You can see that he comes packaged with the fists. So let's go ahead and swap those out. They're not that difficult to swap out. Just pop the old... Apparently my son had to go to the bathroom. So you could just pop those out. Yes, I am a proud papa, where at 3 years old, my son can walk into the bathroom, take off his own underwear, use the bathroom, and flush the toilet, and then come back and continue playing. I am a proud papa. So you can see here, you can see how the hands, he's got the web slinging hands out. This in the package, this little pinky was bent up under the tape, so I may have to do the old heat it up with hot water and cool it off with cool water and sort of straighten that out a little bit. Same thing here. Those little pinkies just got trapped in. They're just so tiny, but you can really get a nice web slinging pose like right there. You can see very, very nice. I could not be happier with this Spider-Man action figure. He is amazing. So what we're going to do now is something that I typically only reserve for my Hot Toys figures. If you guys know, I always do like a big pose off section where I'll put up the turntable and I'll put the Hot Toys figure through the poses so we can see some of the poses this guy can get into. We're going to actually do that with this figure as well because he articulates so well. I think we can probably get him into some pretty fantastic poses. And I may actually have to bust out the old, I forgot what this thing is called, but the SH Figure Arts Stage Act 4 set. I was going to review way last year when I picked it up, but I never got around to doing it. But it's a Japanese import support system for a figure line called SH Figure Arts, and I think it's going to work well for this guy, helping me get him posed up. So let's take a look at some poses, and we'll come back for some final thoughts. Oh, and I've got a monkey on my back. Hey, do you like this Spider-Man action figure? Do you? Okay, so that's going to about do it for this review. I really hope you guys dug the poses. There's probably thousands more you can get him in. These are just some of the ones that are kind of iconic and some of the ones that, just kind of popped into my mind. Oh, I got a monkey on my back. So, reviews are so much harder with a 3-year-old. So, as always, we're going to ask if you dug the video. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Be sure to check out Ungrownups.com for all of our brand new toy reviews. And check us out here at YouTube.com/Ungrownups. So, until next time, peace. Hey, Zachary, can you say bye-bye? Coconut. Laters.